Hello and welcome back to the Estate and Consultancy Podcast. My name is Chris Webb and I'm here to help you have a better estate agency business. So we did a podcast a little while ago. We got some fantastic feedback about the importance of chasing up market appraisals you've been to see and actually how many times you need to speak to people before they actually come back to you and want to commit to working with your business. And it's amazing how many agents will put a lot of effort, time, blood, sweat and tears into generating leads into their business, have the market appraisal, and then never call them ever again and basically go, well, they've got my business card, so they can let me know if they want to move or not. So that was a really good episode, loads of good feedback on that one. So I thought, why not double down on that? Let's look at the pre-market appraisal process and how we can help you sort of stand out from the crowd and make this as a likely property to come on the market with yourself as we possibly can do. So let's kind of go forward in the storyline slightly. So they've received some marketing for yourself. They've picked up the phone. They've booked a market appraisal. You've done a fantastic job and it's booked in for Saturday at 3 o'clock. Let's pick a nice round time to go with. So let's look at the gold standard here. So I've been no sort of not a shy guy about saying what I think the gold standard is. And the gold standard is to hand deliver a pre-market appraisal letter and pack ideally to that property, ideally on the same day you book the market appraisal. If not, obviously if they book it in at like 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm not expecting you to go out there at like 8 o'clock in the evening. That's a bit creepy. But the next day, for example, to go and knock on the front door and go, "Hi, I'm Chris. It's myself who spoke with the phone yesterday. It's myself who's going to value your property on Saturday. Just want to drop around this pre-market appraisal confirmation pack for you. Just confirm everything in for Saturday, in for 3 o'clock. Any problems, let us know. Otherwise, I'll see you then." So two big benefits of that. First of all, we get to see the property. So we get a good idea sort of what the outside of the property is like. So if someone said to you over the phone that it's, really good condition, it's absolutely immaculate, for example, and there's like a burning skip in the driveway, probably not the best of signs for the market appraisal going forward. Second bonus is you get to meet the homeowner, and therefore you've got an extra marketing touch point, and the actual market appraisal itself goes from a nice to meet you through to a nice to see you again sort of thing, which kind of puts you next step up the sort of relationship ladder with that individual. So that is the gold standard as I would see it. And the zero standard, sort of where we don't want to be, is just rocking up on Saturday at 3 o'clock. In fact, even worse than that, rocking up at like 10 minutes past 3 with no reasons why you're running late, but let's not go there. So that is just kind of the worst case scenario, which is just turning up at 3 o'clock on Saturday. "Hi, I'm Chris. We spoke on the phone last week. I'm here to do your valuation," basically. So gold standard, knock on the front door, hand delivered letter. Worst case scenario, just turn up. So what we're going to talk about today is something that's kind of between the two, which is it's far more scalable because knocking on someone's front door with a pre-market appraisal letter, yes, when you're kind of first starting, that's kind of a really good way to go. But obviously over time, as you get busier and busier and busier and your time gets more and more valuable, you think to yourself, "Oh, there must be a more scalable way than me sort of hand delivering this to pre-valuation letter and knocking on the front door." Though I would say it should be one of the last things you sort of automate because it improves the chance of you getting that property on the market, gets you to meet the homeowner, all these sort of good things. So I would be really sort of reluctant to do it as one of the first things you kind of get rid of. Do it as one of the last things you sort of automate in your business. So what we're going to look at today is effectively a video sales letter, or a VSL if you're super really cool about it. And effectively what this is an introduction to you and your business before you even walk to the front door. And this is going to answer some common questions. It's going to kind of put you forward as sort of the agent of choice in the local area. It's going to talk about, how you can help them sell their property and kind of a couple of key features you bring to the table as well. Might mention a couple of success stories and even have some testimonials in there as well. So this is going to be sort of an introduction to yourself. And again, this is scalable. Because if you have 15 market appraisals in a day, you can send 15 emails. Like it's not a huge drama to do sort of thing. And once you've got this video sales letter recorded, great, you're sorted. Unless you dye your hair or shave your head, then you're absolutely fine going forward in the future. Just don't lose or gain any weight. Otherwise, they'll be really either disappointed or over the moon as they open the front door to yourself. So try and keep yourself looking the same. But outside of that, like you can scale this beyond belief. So let's look at what we'd want to include in there. So we would want to include things like who we are, our experience, but also what's in it for them, because people only really care about themselves in the nicest way of putting that. So therefore, we want to get across what's in it for them, for us coming around to value their property and potentially sell their property as well. Because understand what's in it for them, they're far more likely to sell the property with yourself. So everything we talk about in the VSL is going to be, this is why it matters to you. This is the benefit to you individually, and this is kind of why you should care. So let's go through and do a token example about how this might sound. Now, if it sounds like I'm reading this out, it's off of a piece of paper. It's because I'm reading it from a piece of paper. So if it sounds slightly robotic, if you recorded this properly with correct editing, you'd probably just read a couple of lines, crop it, next couple of lines, crop it, so you can get it absolutely nailed. But obviously, I'm doing this live, so wish me luck. So, for example, your VSL should be something along the lines of, "Hi there, and thank you for booking a market appraisal with myself. My name is Chris Webb. I'm an independent estate agent here in Winchester, and I've got over 20 years experience. And if you're thinking of selling, you've absolutely done the right thing by starting with a valuation on your property. So what can you expect from me? And more importantly, why should it matter to you? Well, first, because I work for myself, not a big chain, you'll be dealing directly with me from start to finish. That means no chasing, no mixed messages, no passing you from one department to another. When you've got questions, concerns, or offers coming in, you'll speak to the person who knows your property inside out and is personally invested in getting the best possible result. Now, when it comes to marketing, the way your home is presented can have a massive impact on the price you achieve, the speed you sell, and the qualities of buyers you attract. That's why I don't just list homes, I launch them correctly. With professional photography, video tours, bespoke descriptions, and targeted campaigns, I'll make sure your property stands out in all the right ways. So, what does this mean for you? It means that more eyes on your listing, more interest, more serious buyers, and often stronger offers without needing to drop any kind of asking price. In this video, I've included a few local success stories, properties you've recently sold, feedback from a few clients who've been through the same journey you're just starting now. So take a look, it'll give you a really good feel about how I work and the sort of results I deliver. On the market appraisal itself, I'll walk through your home, ask a few questions about your plan, and give you a clear, honest view about the value based on the local market data, recent properties I've sold, and what buyers are looking for in the local Winchester area. And if you decide to go ahead, I'll guide you step by step from getting the property ready all the way through to negotiating the sale and managing the legal side. My personal aim isn't just to get you sold, it's to make the whole process smoother, more successful, and as stress free as possible. So thank you again. I look forward to seeing you soon. There you go. I don't think I did a too bad a job there in the grand scheme of things. So you record a video with that sort of message, and as a Brucey bonus, I will put that script in the description of this podcast. So if you want to just kind of copy and paste it, you can do that, and that's a nice sort of easy hack for yourself there. And that can then go into an email that goes out. I would do it with some sort of video embedding software. So, like Loom, for example, I use a bit of software called BombBomb, which basically kind of includes the video within the actual email itself. So you can see that it's a video on there. And then obviously within that email as well, you would have things like the video testimonials you've got already, a few properties you've sold, all the sort of good stuff to kind of get them warmed up before you walk to the front door. So there's loads of things you can put in there that before you kind of get in front of a homeowner, they kind of know what you're about. So one thing that's going to be really important though in this process is to make sure the homeowner actually watches the video. So obviously I know don't know about you, but you probably receive a lot of emails on a daily basis and some of them get read and some of them not quite so read. And so we want to make sure that one of our emails that we send out are absolutely read by the homeowners that we are sending them out. So the way we would always pitch this is to say to people when we're booking the market appraisal, look, just so you know, we're going to send you a pre-market appraisal email right now, and it's going to have a video embedded in it. That video is going to have lots of information about the market appraisal itself and sort of an introduction to myself and kind of why I think I'm the right fit to sell your property. If you could do me a really big favor and watch that video before we actually come round to value your property. Otherwise, we'll just sit there in for silence in 5 minutes when we first get there as we watch that video together. It can be a little bit awkward. Obviously, that's a joke. So you can make that sound like a joke. But basically, we get across and say, look, watch the video. It'll answer a lot of questions. It'll make sure you're on board with this before we kind of get things up and running. So therefore, you get a far higher kind of click-through rate on that video. If you're super smart as well, the software you'll use will have some sort of tracking in it. So you can actually see that they have watched the video and how many times they've watched the video as well. So that's a really good thing to do. So again, just to recap, the gold standard is hand deliver pre-market appraisal letter. The basement standard that we should not be doing is just turning up on the market appraisal. So the VSL, video sales letter, is a really good scalable way of getting across who you are as a business and most importantly, why the vendors should care about what you're going to do to try and sell their property and what is in it for them. Hope you enjoyed today's podcast and I'll catch you on the next one.